You ever notice how some of these small town mayors act like they're starring in their own political soap opera? It's like rolling around with entourages, eating steak dinners, flying across the country, across the world on the taxpayer's dime, traveling with media crews like they're shooting a pilot for the reality show that no one asked for.
I went to Colombia 3 times last year.
Okay, Colombia 3 times, Paris twice, Rwanda and Ghana, and Toronto?
Yes, and those all weren't in the same year. That was over 2 years.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
And the wildest part, they're doing this in towns so small that you can really walk to one end to the other during your lunch break. Now you're probably thinking, how the hell did they get away with that? And better yet, how do they keep getting away with it over and over again while the rest of us stuck footing the bill? That's the question we're going to dive into. And trust me, the answer isn't pretty, because it's not just about a mayor or two. We're talking about a broken system that protects the powerful and punishes the people who dare to speak up. And if we don't pay attention, this hustle isn't going to just ruin small towns. It's going to tear entire communities apart. So buckle up, because we're going to expose the real reason these small town leaders get to act like kings while the rest of us are left cleaning up after their mess. Let's talk about Tiffany Hayard. We talked about her a lot on this channel. The self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, was just a prime example. She turned township government into a reality show.
We are in a war as it relates to people just being negative. Oh my God. We are under attack. Yes, me, but you as well. If I'm under attack, we under attack. But I need people to take a stance with me against corruption. Y'all better pay attention, because it's big. And when I come out swinging.
But this wasn't the Real Housewives of Cook County. This was real life, real power, real money, and from what we've seen, real shady behavior. She wasn't just the mayor of Dalton, she was also the supervisor of the Thornton Township, appointed, by the way. That's like being the principal and the superintendent at the same time, still flunking every budget test. With no one really there to check her, she gave herself tons of power. She allegedly traveled on a taxpayer's dime, rolled deep with the media team that kind of looked like a tour bus group, and spent taxpayer money like she hit the lotto. And the scariest part, the press wasn't watching this. Not at first. The state didn't seem to care. But eventually the people had enough. The residents themselves stepped up and shined the light. They brought the chaos to social media. They brought videos, they dropped receipts, and showed the world how ridiculous has it gotten. What was once small town drama turned into national headlines because regular folks got fed up and started hitting record. And now Tiffany Hayard has lost it all. She is no longer the mayor. She is no longer a township supervisor. The empire that she built on intimidation and ego crumbled under the weight of truth and the internet spotlight. Because when there's no spotlight, there's no pressure. And when there's no pressure, these mayors move in silence until lawsuits start piling up, receipts start leaking out, and the internet start paying attention. And speaking of receipts, let me tell you, when I was putting this story together, as many stories I talk about on YouTube, saving township clips, downloading court documents, and screen recording board meeting meltdowns, my phone was like, nah, bro, I'm done. Storage full. And that's why I downloaded the Cleaning Guru app, the sponsor of this video. This app is like the cleanup crew for your phone. It scans my entire gallery and found hundreds of duplicates, blurry screenshots, and old township meeting recording stuff that I didn't even know was still lurking. I cleared out tons of stuff, multiple gigs on my phone. Cleaning Guru didn't stop at videos either. My inbox was looking like a complete mess, jammed with newsletters, 5-month-old meeting invites. Cleaning Guru helped clean that mess up too. In the features, they're stacked. The most popular one is the duplicate and similar photo cleanup. It finds all the identical shots from your photo burst and lets you pick the best one, and you get to delete the rest. You can even choose what time period to target. Got 1,000 pics from last month's drama? Gone in a flash. Also hunts down large and unwanted videos. Those clips you forgot about that are secretly eating up gigs of space on your phone, Cleaning Guru points them out and lets you remove them with one tap. Contacts a mess? Cleaning Guru will find your duplicate contacts and merge them with clean, no more scrolling through 3 entries for the same person. And if you're into aesthetics, it even has battery charging animations and full phone automation features to keep things running smooth. So email clutter cleared, spam gone, emails from places that you subscribe to but no longer even bother checking out. And the truth is, most users are in the same boat. iPhone storage is maxed out, tired of deleting stuff one by one, but not trying to pay Apple for more space. Cleaning Guru is for people who want their phone back. And after taking care of this mess with the app, it gave me mine. It's the assistant you didn't know you needed. If your phone is running like a city budget with no oversight, sluggish, bloated, and begging for help, download Cleaner Pro. The link is in the description. Free up space, protect your sanity, and keep every shady receipt right where you need it. Download the Cleaning Guru. Link is in the description. Check it out. In towns like Dalton, these mayors don't just hold office, they hold all the cards, literally all of them. In big cities, power is spread out. You have the city council, a strong media presence, even some watchdog groups. In a small town, the mayor is the sheriff, the judge, the executioner, and the DJ at the town festival. If they don't like what you're saying, they can cut your mic off at the council meeting. If you work with them and speak up, you're gone. If you run a business and you question their spending, suddenly you're getting code violations coming out of nowhere. It's a whole different kind of game. The mayor isn't just in charge, they become the entire system. And the danger of the strong mayor style of government in this setup, one person holds all the executive power. They make decisions, control the budget, hire and fire staff, and dramatically steamroll the city council like it's just background noise. It sounds efficient until it's not. When one person gets to run everything without checks and balances, the town stops being a democracy and starts to feel like a dictatorship with a neighborhood watch. Strong mayor systems are supposed to provide clear leadership, but in the wrong hands, they give folks like Tiffany Hayard and Brandon King keys to the kingdom they never earned. And once they got these keys, good luck getting them back. It creates a toxic culture of fear and favoritism. You speak up, you're out. Ask questions, and suddenly you got code violations or your emails stop working. And all authority flows through one person. Corruption becomes a feature, not a glitch. If the mayor is crooked, the whole town bends to match. That's how entire communities get dragged down by one person's ego trip. Strong mayor systems aren't inherently bad. They just become dangerous when the strong part outweighs the accountable part. In towns where no one's watching, that balance disappears real fast. Just take a look at what's happening in East Cleveland, Ohio. Mayor Brandon King is out there allegedly running a city like he is trying to keep a secret from the feds. Secret council members have said he's blocked them from accessing important information. One even said that the email was cut off after asking about city spending. That's not politics. That's like a low-budget mafia movie.
We have to stop the bleeding.
Mayor King does not recognize that he needs to follow the law.
Those against him claim he's created a $60 million budget deficit and hasn't acted appropriately months after a video here surfaced appearing to show him smoking and drinking on city property.
Transparency, non-existent. The city's finances are so murky, it's like trying to read tax documents underwater. There's been multiple reports of financial mismanagement and no clear accounting of where the public funds are being spent. City contracts have allegedly gone to people with personal ties to King. Council members have called the mayor out for withholding critical documents related to the city's budget and operations. In one instance, he was accused of pushing through funding for private security using federal COVID relief dollars for a city that is struggling with basic infrastructure issues like trash pickup and potholes. Those policies make no sense unless you're running a kingdom, not a city. This kind of environment doesn't just stall progress, it creates fear, it breeds silence, and it pushes good people out of public service. And speaking of getting pushed out, Mayor Brandon King finally did. After months of ducking questions, locking down emails, and running East Cleveland like his personal piggy bank, the law finally caught up. And the man was hit with that 12-count indictment. And we're talking about theft of office, conflict of interest, and basically using city funds like they were his own monopoly money that he pulled from the community chest. And the charges were so serious that they had to bring in a 3-judge panel just to decide if he can stay in office. And surprise, surprise, they suspended him. Officially gone, packed up like leftovers at a city meeting. And things got really messy to a point where they couldn't even figure out who was going to become the mayor in the interim. And finally, eventually, the state Supreme Court had to step in and name Sandra Morgan as the interim mayor. So yes, East Cleveland finally has someone new at the helm, but this is a city that has been bruised by mismanagement, backdoor deals, and a lot of nonsense. So while Brandon King waits for his day in court, the people of East Cleveland are left trying to clean up the mess that he left behind, financially, politically, and morally. Then there's Monique Owens, the former mayor of East Point, Michigan. She straight up lied on her COVID relief application, saying that she had over 100 employees in her business just to get $10,000. That's not just petty, that's federal. She pled no contest, got 100 hours of community service, and she still tried to act like she didn't do anything wrong. It's like, come on, we saw that paperwork. But the paperwork wasn't even the worst part. Her meetings were absolute chaos.
I'm here in support of Councilman Curley. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there, or we're gonna stop the council meeting because I'm not gonna let you speak on something that has to do with police, with the police, and
what I was going to say.
they have a point of order, and I'm gonna talk over you. This is gonna be one of those meetings y'all never seen before. You're not gonna disrespect people that have things going on.
Hey, talk about public things.
She can talk about public things, but I'm giving her a warning, just like we have always give people warnings before they spoke on certain things. Yes, we have First Amendment rights, but no one, even though we have First Amendment rights, no one is allowed to say anything racial or discriminatory at that mic, and I will stop them if it's going to cause disorder.
Owens ran public meetings like they were personal live streams, not forums for civic engagement. She interrupted residents, constantly cutting off anyone who dared question her decisions or ask uncomfortable questions. It wasn't uncommon for her to change the rules of engagement mid-meeting, restricting speaking time, flipping the agenda, or just walking out altogether. Treating criticism as harassment and using her position to publicly shame residents or spin every critique as a personal attack. At one point, she was even sued for violating the First Amendment, accused of trying to silence public comment and restrict speech during meetings. That lawsuit ended up costing the city tens of thousands of dollars and resulting in the creation of the First Amendment Day as part of the settlement. These are mayors, elected officials, the people meant to lead, but instead they're acting like con artists with a city credit card. And it's because they're in small towns with small platforms and small media reach, and they get away with it again and again and again. I mean, obviously this is not just restricted to small cities, and a great example of that is the former mayor of St. Louis, Tashara Jones. She wasn't just running a city, she was collecting travel stamps like designer handbags on clearance. Between 2021 and 2024, she clocked in about 64 work-related trips. That's over 160 days away from the city that she was supposed to be leading. Basically, while potholes were stacking up on the streets, she was stacking up those frequent flyer miles. And if that sounds familiar, because it should, because her and Tiffany Hayard must have shared that same travel agent. Jones stayed booked and busy. And what's her excuse? Bringing resources back to St. Louis. That's cute because the residents weren't buying it, especially when basic city services were breaking down like an old Buick. And while she insisted that many of her trips were funded by outside organizations, her office still tried to bump her mayor's travel budget up to $7,500 in 2022 because apparently even political jet setting needs a raise. Meanwhile, back in St. Louis, folks are dealing with crime, broken infrastructure, and a general vibe that the mayor's chair was permanently empty. She was the mayor in the title, but a travel blogger in practice. And eventually the people said, you know what? No. In this year, 2025, Tashara Jones lost her re-election bid. The public was done watching their mayor rack up hotel points while the city fell behind. Her downfall wasn't just one bad trip, it was about the message. The message that showing up mattered less than showing off. And just like Hayard, it was about ego, optics, and a serious case of doing too much that brought her to her early landing. Different city, same turbulence, same crash. And you also see the downfall of the mayor of South Fulton, Mayor Kobe. He has done a lot of nonsense. So let's rewind really quick. This man really walked into someone else's lakefront home uninvited, claimed that it was his dream house, and got held at gunpoint by the actual owner. When the cops pulled up, this dude hit him with the classic, "Do you know who I am?" Yeah, they probably did. And that's why they still cuffed him. But it gets even wilder. While South Fulton is dealing with all of the problems and the budget gaps, Mayor Kobe was out in Ghana living his best life ever. 3 weeks, over $26,000 in travel expenses. What was the justification? Economic development. The result, the city council snatched his budget, took away his government car, and even dragged the $1,800 pool table out of his office, like they were repo men on a mission.
I'm so distressed and disappointed that the blackest city in the United States of America is heading into Black History Month with its all-black council tearing each other down.
We're not tearing you down. You took your black behind over to Africa for 20 days.
Oh yeah, and then they did kick his dog out as well. And while all that was going on, he was also getting evicted. The man can't even pay his own rent. His excuse? He is just like another average American. Nah, the average American doesn't drop 5 figures on travel while dodging court dates and eviction notices. Eventually, South Fulton said enough is enough, and they banned him from City Hall, changed the locks, killed his access to city funds, and left him with just a title, mayor in name only. The only thing this man ran successfully was out of time. This dude was a total goofy. So whether it's Dalton, East Point, St. Louis, South Fulton, this isn't just about one place, it's a pattern. It's a virus of ego and incompetence spreading across local governments while the people suffer. And here's the thing that really makes it really sad. A lot of folks in these towns stay quiet. Some are scared, some are tired, some just have accepted that this is how it is. Because when you live in a place where everyone knows everyone, calling out the mayor isn't just making a political statement. It could cost you your job, your peace, or your safety. Some residents are loyal to the mayor because of favors. Others don't want to deal with the drama. And many just don't know how deep it goes until it's too late. So that's how the system stays broken. People who are supposed to hold these officials accountable either can't or won't. And the ones who try to speak up, they're often shut down, sued, or threatened. But when the lights finally come on, when the court documents hit the internet, when the news starts poking around and someone finally says, wait a minute, that's when things start to unravel, and usually it's very messy. These mayors didn't lose because of one big scandal. They lost because people got fed up with the lies, the waste, the silence, and the absolute circus they turned public service into. The hustle doesn't stop because a few got caught. A lot of these people are bold. They're going to spin the story, they'll play victim, they will say this is all a political attack or this is all a conspiracy. And for some reason it works, until it doesn't. That's how they survive. They twist the narrative to lean on power, silence, and loyalty. By the time the truth finally catch up, they've already spent the money, fired their critics, and blamed everybody but themselves. So the question is, what do we do? How do we stop the next Tiffany or Brandon or Monique from turning their little town into a personal empire? You have to pay attention. You have to start asking questions. We shine a light in places where no one else is looking, because if there's anything we've learned, it's that these small town mayors aren't small time. They have big plans, big egos, and big crimes hiding in small offices. And until someone speaks up, they'll keep doing what they're doing, eating good, living large, and running the hustle like it's business as usual. That's why it's important to show up to these local elections. That's the real cheat code here, because when the drama unfolds in public meetings and courtrooms, the real power shifts happen at the ballot box. And there's way too many people skip that part. Even with Dalton in the township, they still had below 30% voting rate. Most people, for some reason, just don't care. That's why folks like Hanyard, Owens, and King keep sliding into office. Low voter turnout. When only a few hundred people show up to vote in a town of thousands, it doesn't take much for a shady candidate to win. Because all they need is their cousin, their pastor, and a few neighbors to show up, and then boom, they're back in office. Every time we sit out a local election, it's like you're handing these people the keys. And they were all shocked when they crashed the whole city budget into a wall of lawsuits and steakhouse bills. It's not just about voting, it's about knowing who's running, what they stand for, and making noise when things start smelling funny. We can't wait until the FBI or some investigative journalist to clean up these cities. Real change starts when regular people walk into that voting booth like it's a courtroom and finally hold these mayors accountable with the one power they can't spin: the vote. So yeah, the big city scandals get a lot of the headlines, but when you really look into the dirty secrets, look where no one's watching. But if you really want to find the dirty secrets, look where no one's watching, because these small town mayors are out there committing big city crimes without breaking a sweat. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.